a man responsible for one of the most shocking attacks in modern history was hiding somewhere in the world, and for nearly 10 years, no one knew exactly where. The search for Osama bin Laden became one of the most intense intelligence hunts in modern history. Intelligence agencies, soldiers, and analysts across the globe worked to track down a man who rarely appeared in public and left almost no trace. The question that haunted governments and families alike was simple: where was he hiding, and how would anyone ever find him? The story begins after the September 11th attacks, when Al-Qaeda carried out coordinated attacks on the United States on September 11, 2001. Nearly 3,000 people lost their lives, and the world watched as the United States launched a massive international effort to capture those responsible. Among them was Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda and the most wanted man in the world. Within weeks, American forces moved into Afghanistan, where bin Laden and his allies were believed to be hiding. Early intelligence suggested Osama bin Laden had been located in the mountainous region of Tora Bora in late 2001. American and Allied forces launched operations in the area, but the terrain was harsh and the situation unclear. Reports later suggested that bin Laden managed to escape through the mountains, disappearing once again. From that moment forward, the search became slower and far more complicated. Intelligence agencies had to rely on fragments of information gathered from documents, captured fighters, and years of analysis. Over time, investigators began focusing on one particular clue: a trusted courier believed to deliver messages for bin Laden. According to intelligence officials, this courier rarely used phones or digital communication, which made him extremely difficult to track. However, small pieces of information gathered over several years helped analysts identify him and eventually follow his movements. That trail eventually led to a quiet city in Pakistan called Abbottabad. In 2010, surveillance teams discovered a large and unusual compound in Abbottabad, connected to the courier. The house stood out from others nearby. It had tall security walls, limited access points, and no visible internet or phone lines. Even more unusual, the residents reportedly burned their trash instead of leaving it outside for collection. To intelligence analysts, those details mattered because someone important might be hiding inside. Yet even with these clues, there was still uncertainty. Intelligence officials reportedly debated the evidence for months. Some analysts believed the compound strongly suggested bin Laden was present, while others warned the information was incomplete. According to briefings later released by the Central Intelligence Agency, estimates about whether bin Laden was actually inside ranged widely. In intelligence work, certainty is rare, and decisions often rely on probabilities rather than proof. As surveillance continued, analysts noticed something unusual. One resident of the compound rarely left the building and carefully avoided being seen from outside. According to reports from the U.S. Department of Defense, this individual was described by analysts as the pacer, someone who walked within the compound walls but stayed hidden from aerial views. This unusual behavior increased the suspicion that the mysterious resident might indeed be the man the world had been searching for. Still, many questions remained. Some observers later asked whether authorities in Pakistan knew anything about the compound or the individuals living inside. Different accounts have been reported, and the full details remain debated among analysts and historians. Intelligence operations often leave unanswered questions, and this case was no exception. For families who lost loved ones in the September 11th attacks, the long search had become deeply personal. Many had spent years hoping for answers, justice, or closure. The hunt for bin Laden was not only a military and intelligence effort, it was also a symbol of a nation trying to respond to tragedy. When the search finally reached its final stage, millions of people around the world were still watching.
In early 2011, U.S. officials reviewed months of intelligence gathered from surveillance around the Abbottabad compound. After extensive discussion, U.S. President Barack Obama approved a covert military mission designed to enter the compound and confirm who was inside. The operation would involve a specialized team of U.S. Navy Special Forces and would take place under strict secrecy. On the night of May 2, 2011, helicopters carrying the Special Forces team crossed into Pakistan and approached the compound in Abbottabad. The mission was known as Operation Neptune Spear. The goal was simple but extremely risky. Enter the compound, identify the target, and complete the mission as quickly as possible. The raid lasted less than an hour. According to official U.S. statements, Osama Bin Laden was located inside the compound and killed during the operation. After the mission ended, the team left the area and returned with materials that intelligence officials later said helped them understand more about al-Qaeda's network. When the news was announced publicly, reactions spread across the world within minutes. Some people gathered in public places to hear the announcement, while others quietly reflected on what it meant. For many families affected by the September 11th attacks, the long search brought a sense of relief, though the memories of that day remained. Experts often describe the hunt for bin Laden as an example of how modern intelligence operations work. Instead of one dramatic discovery, the process involved thousands of small clues collected over many years. Analysts compared documents, studied patterns, and slowly built a picture from scattered pieces of information, like assembling a puzzle where most of the pieces were missing. Nearly a decade after the September 11th attacks, the search for Osama bin Laden finally came to an end in a quiet city far from the battlefields where the hunt had begun. But the story was never only about finding one man. It was about how nations respond after tragedy and how the search for answers can shape history for years to come.